हेलो गाइस, मैं विक्की कुशवाहा स्वागत करता हूं आपका अपने यूट्यूब चैनल LIS कनेक्ट में। तो फ्रेंड्स, इस वीडियो में आज हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं मध्य प्रदेश हाई कोर्ट जबलपुर के असिस्टेंट लाइब्रेरियन का जो एग्ज़ाम है उसके लिए मैंने आपको टॉप 100 क्वेश्चन को सिलेक्ट किया है, जो कि असिस्टेंट लाइब्रेरियन एग्ज़ाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है और साथ ही सभी लाइब्रेरियन एग्ज़ाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है। तो चलिए फ्रेंड्स, आज की हमारी वीडियो स्टार्ट करते हैं। और यदि फ्रेंड्स आप हमारे चैनल पर नए हैं तो प्लीज़ चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर कीजिएगा, साथ ही बेल के आइकन को भी क्लिक कीजिएगा ताकि मैं कोई भी वीडियो अपलोड करूं उसका नोटिफिकेशन आपको जल्द से जल्द मिल सके। तो चलिए फ्रेंड्स, हमारा वीडियो स्टार्ट करते हैं। हमारा पहला क्वेश्चन है, इंफॉर्मेशन इज़ ऑर्गेनाइज डेटा। जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है वो एक ऑर्गेनाइज डेटा है। फेयर यूज़ इन अ टर्म मोस्ट रिलेवेंट टू कॉपीराइट। नेक्स्ट, विपो स्टैंडर्ड फॉर वर्ल्ड इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, हैंडलिंग ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन इन द सेंस ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इज कॉल्ड इंफॉर्मेशन इंडस्ट्री। नेक्स्ट इज द टर्म information science came into existence in the year 1959. Next, Brain Convention 1886 is concerned with copyright. Okay friend, next question, communication barrier is noise. Next है, communication medium is radio. Next, in communication mode, Shannon and Weaver information is BTI, sender, channel, message, receiver and feedbacks in 1948. Next is communication channel, formal and informal. Next is informal communication among knowledgeable person is known as invisible college. Next question, document is physical carrier of information conservation. Entropy is not associated with the communication system. Degree of uncertainty in information, unavailable information for doing useful work. Next is logical sequence of the following: data, information, knowledge and wisdom. Next is the invisible wave refers to that part of the internet which is hidden for the search. Next is, who was the chairman of National Library Committee of India? B.S. Jha. Okay friend, next question. Which organization applied library and information policy in India at national level? RRLF. Next is the headquarter of Patent Information System in Nagpur, India. Next is the act enacted in India in 1856 on intellectual property right was based on British Patent Law 1852. Next is whether intellectual property can be sold, sell is possible. Next is the term communication came from which language? Latin language. Okay friend, next question है, who is the propounder of the term information transfer? Beesman. Next is to which country the credit is given to coin the term information society? Japan. Next is, today information is regarded as which of the following wealth community product? Next is, nowadays what is the most important vital resource for societal development of the country? Information. Next is, what is the unit of information called? Byte. Next question, delivery of book act passed in the year 1954. Next is when was Dr. S.R. Ranganathan was appointed a National Research Professor of Library since 1962. Next is which Indian university first started MLYC and MPhil course? University of Delhi. Next is which communication recommended 10% of the total college budget for development of the libraries Kothari committee. Next is UNICEF is a program. Next question, where did Dr. S.R. Ranganathan put forth his five law of library science? Meenakshi College, Annamalai Nagar. Next is when did ILA become the member of IFLA? 1957. Next is in which year SLET was acquired by MCB Group, the holding company for Emerald Group, published 2010. Next is which association as tagline is managing information as lib. Next is which association tagline connecting people and information as SLE located in Beijing. Next question, in 1931, Intellectual Institute of Documentation was established. Next is which organization has introduced the concept of sister library for children and young adult reading, IFLA. Next is which year the ISBN allocated office in India shifted from Kolkata to Delhi in 2012. Next is which two organizations jointly publish survey on digitization and preservation, IFLA plus UNESCO. Okay friend, next question है, who said that librarianship is not a professor? Modern, Mon, Mori or and MC Farron. Next question, which organization was joined with Library Association on from SLET in 2002? Institute of Information Scientists. Next is in which year International Institute of Documentation changed to International Federation of Documentation, 1973. Next is in which year headquarters of FID was shifted from Brussels to The Hague, 1934. Next is who gave the sixth law of library science, every reader his her freedom? James R. Rating. Okay friend, next question है, where was the first library notice in India? Saraswati. Next is when was the Curriculum Development Committee on LIS instituted, 1992-1993. Next, who published the journal International Classification ISCO, International Society for Knowledge Organization? Next is when was Information Science added to librarianship? 1955, 1950. Next is which association in India was awarded teacher in LIS? ITLS. Next is where is the headquarter of SLA? Beijing. Next is which law of library science related to the growth of libraries? Fifth law. Next is UAP stand for Universal Availability of Publication. Next is resource sharing is a part of library cooperation. Next is the five law of library science published in the book from in the year 1931. Next is library technology report is publication of ALA, American Library Association. Next question, Abzilla is headquarter publication of ILA, Indian Library Association. Next is American Library Association established in 1876. Next is the Canadian Library Association 1946. Next is Special Library Association 1909. Next is the Association of Research Library 1932. Next is which terms was coined by Dr. S.R. Ranganathan from Mobile Library on Wheel. Next question, the Librarian Day celebrate on 12 August. Okay friend, next question है forms of extension service are library website, library orientation, book fair and exhibition. Next is the first library school was started by Melville Dewey 1851 to 1931. Next is Encyclopedia of Library and Information Science is published by Marshall Decker. Next is the secondary source of information comprised of indexing and abstracting periodicals. Next question है who categorized information source into conventional, non-conventional, neo-conventional and micro documents? S.R. Ranganathan. Next is article published in research journal are primary source. Next is the thesaurus is a collection of selected terminology, synonyms, terms, list of word. Next is uh, patent is a arrangement agreement between the inventor and the government. Next is world of learning is a what source of information, secondary source. Okay friend, next question, Indian book in print are published from New Delhi. Cumulative book index is published from USA. Next is statement yearbook is published from London. McGraw-Hill annually published. Next is World of Learning is published by Europa Publication London. Next is Library Herald edited by Krishan Kumar from Delhi Library Association since 1958. Next is who was published the monthly journal The Library World, J.D. Brown. Next question, Facts on File is weekly digest of world event published from Europa publication. Next is who is the first editor of Modern Librarian? F. Monvary Walt. Next is Indian National Bibliography, first appeared in 1957. Next is who is the author of Dictionary of Anonymous and Pseudonym Literature? S. Halkett and J. Lang. Next is uh, Com- Compton Compton Yearbook contains event outstanding event. Okay friend, next question है online Europa yearbook has covered since 1958. Next question, which of the following is a multi-subject gateway renders? Next is which of the following is a specialized information organized online tool BBSIMO? Next is research periodicals are primary source. Next is reference source are those which used to obtain particular information. Next is who is the publisher of Encyclopedia of Library and Information Science? Marshall Decker. Next is retrospective search service is a types of responsive service. Next is which part of New Encyclopedia Britannica is useful for ready reference? Propedia. Next is yearbook are also known as annual. Next is what is India a reference annual yearbook. Next is what is trade bibliography? List of book book in print or for sale compiled by publisher. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है हु पब्लिश्ड INIS और एटम इंडेक्स इनिस एटम इंडेक्स इनिस बियाना. नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ ई डॉक्यूमेंट्स इन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्म सच एज कैसेट CD-ROM एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. नेक्स्ट इज inscription is not the document. Inscription is not a document. Next is generally the information source are divided mainly into following categories: documentary and non-documentary. Next is what are non-documentary source, which are is not printed form. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है today which types of information is most useful? Non-documentary source. Next question, cover to cover translation is treated as current awareness surveys. Next is what is the suitable reference source to know about the information of particular place? Gazetteer in India, it was first published by Ministry of Human Affairs. Next is what is the suitable reference source to find out the list of historical moments of Delhi? Guidebook. Next is who did you call a collection of maps, tables, chart, etc. that is atlas. Next is Encyclopedia Americana consists of 30 वॉल्यूम. ओके फ्रेंड्स, आज की हमारी वीडियो कैसी लगी प्लीज़ कमेंट बॉक्स में ज़रूर बताइएगा. आज हमने लाइब्रेरी साइंस के 100 क्वेश्चन को डिस्कस किया है जो कि लाइब्रेरी मध्य प्रदेश हाईकोर्ट जबलपुर असिस्टेंट लाइब्रेरी एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है. तो फ्रेंड्स, आज की हमारी वीडियो कैसी लगी प्लीज़ कमेंट बॉक्स में ज़रूर बताइएगा. और यदि वीडियो पसंद आई हो तो वीडियो को लाइक और अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर ज़रूर कीजिएगा. और फ्रेंड्स, यदि आप हमारे चैनल पर नए हैं तो प्लीज़ चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर कीजिएगा. साथ ही बेल के आइकन को भी क्लिक कीजिएगा ताकि मेरे द्वारा बनाया गया कोई वीडियो आप तक आसानी से पहुँच सके. ओके फ्रेंड्स, मैं लगातार ऐसे ही वीडियो आपके लिए लाता रहूँगा. Okay friends, thank you for watching.